So we're in recline pigeon pose, flexing the foot, and you might then lift the other leg to hold behind the thigh and gently draw that in towards you. Great. And that might be enough. From there, if you like, so the foot that's in the air, not on the leg, you can turn that away from your body. So you begin to angle it out to the side to push that bent knee forwards, and you'll find your way a little bit more deeply into the IT band. If you felt more where you were before, then please just stay there. Really good. Breathing in, breathing out, always staying connected to those slow, deep breaths that we started with. Really good. Now, from here, we're coming into a twist. So you're going to bring those hips back to neutral. Keep the feet up in the air, and you're taking the legs over to the side. So that foot that's up on the knee comes down onto the floor over to the side. So if your left foot is on the thigh, you take it over to your right side, and that foot comes onto the floor, or maybe onto a cushion or the block, and the arms come out to the side. So that knee that's on the top is pointing up. That was right. Yeah, come back over this way. Yes, lovely. Arms out to the side. So that top knee can be pointing up, more up towards the ceiling if you want to feel more. So you've got one knee pointing up into the air and one knee down on the floor. Really good, yeah. If it feels too much, then grab a cushion to put under the foot to lift the floor up towards you. Really good. You've got a few breaths there, breathing in, breathing out, really finding our way through the side of that hip. Lovely. So you're going to need to use your core or maybe your hands to help those legs up to the center. Undo your legs. You're lying down, feet on the floor, feet hip width apart. Other foot comes up onto the thigh, and you flex that foot. You might stay there. You might lift the legs up, reaching a hand through, just hugging that thigh in towards you. So you're on the other side now. Really good. We take a few breaths here, breathing in. As you breathe out, maybe drawing that leg in a little with the exhalation. Feeling your way into the other side and acknowledging if there is a big difference right to left. It's quite normal to have a dominant side that's going to get much tighter, but it will be stronger. And then just as we did on the other side, you begin to move that foot that's in the air away from you. And the bent knee also moves away from you. So you're making a little bit of an angle with the hips now to find your way more through the side of the hip, the thigh, the IT band. Slow, relaxed breaths. Really good. And hopefully, as we move through these poses, it becomes easier to be still and be with your breath. The mind becomes a little bit less distracting. Now, if you used a cushion for the twist on the other side, or you thought you would have liked one, grab your cushion, put it over to the side you're going to. So if that right ankle, so whatever foot that's on your leg, you're going to the opposite side. You're taking it over. If you had the right foot up, you're taking it over to the left. Foot comes down to the floor or onto your block, and that knee, so my right knee is now pointing up to the ceiling to get into the IT band really deeply as well around the side of the glute med sort of area. But I'm getting a little bit deeper than just the muscles. It's really all the tissue around the hip, really good. So let the leg, the foot, the feet settle over to the side, and then if you want, you can push that knee more upwards to get deeper into the hip. Really good. Slow, relaxed breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. In Yin Yoga, it's all based in Chinese medicine. So we're also, other than just getting into the muscles, we're looking to create traction along the meridian lines of the body and excite the flow of qi and energy within us. Remove any physical blocks that might be holding that back. This is just to promote wellness, the organs of the body, all the systems of the body, digestive system, circulatory system, respiratory system. So slowly using the hands, you're coming all the way out, really nice. You can release the legs down. We're going to do one more down on the floor. So the hamstrings, these can be usually quite tight. So keep one knee bent and hug, let's say your right knee in towards you. So you hug the right knee into the chest. You can circle that foot around one way, circle the foot around the other way. Now, if you know your hamstrings are more open, go ahead, straighten the legs out. If you're not sure, keep the knee bent. Take your hands behind the right thigh now and straighten the leg into your hands. And if this is too much, maybe you just hold fingertips around the edge of the leg rather than hands all the way behind. Flex the foot or point the toes, it doesn't matter, just do something with your foot. And then you're going to maybe draw that leg in towards you so that you can feel a stretch through the back of the leg, really nice. If you can get it in quite close to you and you have the knee bent, the other knee bent, then go ahead and straighten it. Lovely. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Now, to set the alignment in this pose, we can think about that leg that's up in the air and that thigh externally rotating in the hip. You can do this with the foot, and you can, with those right toes, the right foot, you can turn them out to the side and you'll feel the thigh move in the hip, and that just brings it into good alignment for opening the back of the leg. Lovely, you've got a couple more there. Breathing in, breathing out. Those long exhalations to encourage the body to let go. Encourage, not force. Really good. And then you can release that leg down and we'll do the other side. So hug your left knee into you now. Squeeze the left knee in towards you. Roll the foot around one way. Make little circles with the ankles one way. Circling the other way. Really nice. And then taking behind that leg and straightening the leg as much as possible. If you cannot straighten the leg, that's okay. You can test it out by pushing the thigh into your hands, pushing that leg away from you and seeing how that feels. Really good, yes. And then if you can, keep it there. Because when the leg is straight, you're getting into the flesh of the muscle. You're not getting into the attachments of the muscle. They're much smaller. You don't really want to stretch them. Lovely. And as your body settles in, maybe you're working with the breath, inhaling deeply. And as you exhale, gently pulling on the leg to maintain the sensation through the back of the leg. And you might feel it mostly in the thigh or the calf, or even maybe all the way up into the sole of the foot, the tips of some of the toes. Really good. Few more breaths, 3 deep breaths. So you can release that foot down. You're going to roll over to the side and we're going to come up to stand. So our next pose, if you have a look, I'm going to show you all the options and then I'll talk you through it as well. So dangling, you have your feet about yoga mat width apart, heels out, toes in. And the knees need to be bent. Even if your hamstrings are really open, just start with the knees bent. So option 1 is here, head's relaxed. If that's fine, option 2, the legs are the same, but you hold the arms. And then maybe you end up with just a very small bend in the knee. This is important. So my tummy and my thighs are touching, okay? Most of the places where I am. You don't want to be doing this. Okay, because I can already feel so much pressure in my back. It needs to be the knees bent, hip crease, okay? Because we're going to be there 3 minutes. So start off just feeling a little bit, okay? Otherwise, by the end of 3 minutes, well, your hamstrings will be crying. So, and that's not the point. It's meant to be nice. So this is called dangling for obvious reasons. Lovely. I'm going to start the timer. My phone here as a timer. So is everybody happy there? Anyone not happy? Give me a wave. Yeah, you're good. Okay, lovely. Lovely. And it's an inversion. So, you know, if you're not used to hanging upside down for long lengths of time, it might start to feel a little bit weird. And of course, if it feels too weird, then you're welcome to just sit down. And I will show you how to do it sat down on the floor. The nice thing about doing it this way is that when we can dangle, we can really release, decompress the lower back, but also the neck and the shoulders. So try and find your way into a position you can be still. Yeah, at least for a minute, you're just in a position where you can be still. Really good. And remembering the first option is just elbows on the knees. Yeah, so it's a strong pose, especially if you've been using your legs for things that have been shortening the muscles. So any kind of HIIT or weight training, anything like that. Strength training is like the opposite of yoga. Great, so you're already more than halfway through. You've got 1 more minute there. So you might be taking a step back and being like, whew, it's enough, okay? But if, some of you look quite comfy there, you might interlace your hands behind you and hang your arms over the head. This won't just make it more intense for your shoulders, it will make it more intense for your hamstrings as well. Okay, because it's pulling your weight forwards, which is deepening your hamstring stretch. So do listen to your body. Really nice. You've got 45 seconds. And that is about 7 slow, relaxed breaths. So follow your breath in. Follow your breath out. Really good. Use the breath to calm the body, to soften the body. And use that awareness of your breath to keep your mind focused, maintain that inward concentration. Really good. Lovely. Now we need to come out really slowly, otherwise you'll get a massive head rush. So bend your knees, hands on the thighs. You are looking down to the floor. And as you slowly push into the thighs, drawing the tummy in, you're coming very slowly to stand and you're still looking at the floor. And then you can lift the head up and just shrug the shoulders. Really nice. So we're going to take a little balance. It's not necessarily in, but it's just a nice way to ground ourselves. Tree pose. You're pushing into the right leg, or whichever leg, doesn't matter, but make sure you know which one. The foot can come to the side of the ankle. If you need to hold something because you have a bad ankle or knee, you can. Otherwise, I'd say just, you know, wobble, fall, come back. The foot can come to the side of the shin, or you might even lift it up and put it above. Okay, it doesn't really matter. push the foot and the leg towards each other, hands pushed together. You've got your gaze set softly at one point straight ahead of you that's not going to move. And if you feel steady, you're going to begin lifting the hands up. Hands can come apart, elbows can bend if it feels better for the shoulder and the neck. And we've got another 5 breaths. 1, really good. You might be able to move that knee back behind you to open the inner thigh. 2, really good. 3, 4, yeah, don't worry, falling's part of balancing. 5, really nice. Slowly the hands come back, the foot comes down, really good. Shake the leg out a little bit. So you're pushing into the other leg. So if you're following me, the left leg, foot will come to probably the same place, but maybe not, no discomfort in the knee. Knees rolling back, foot and leg drawing together, everything up, drawing through the midline of the body. And once you feel steady, maybe lifting the arms all the way up for 1. As slow and relaxed breaths as you can. 2, really good. 3, 4, really good. And 5, slowly, gently, you come down. Lovely. Walk out through the feet. So we're going to come down to the floor. We're going to take a little flow down to the floor to connect with our breath. You might need a cushion when we're there. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, bend your knees and you fold. Inhale, hands on your shins, you look forwards. And as you exhale, you're stepping your right foot back and putting the knee down. And depending on what you have underneath you, how thick the mat is, how soft the floor is underneath you, you might want a cushion. Some knees aren't going to stay on the floor anyway. Baby lizard is this pose, or baby dragon. I prefer lizard. Hands inside that front foot. And ideally, the knee is over the ankle. So I can see some of you have got your arm outside the knee. You want hand inside the foot. Have a look at me if you're not sure. And that ankle underneath the knee. Really good. So you might feel a lot here, then stay there. Otherwise, you can lift the back knee up. So this is for the inner thigh and the hamstring. Inhale, lean forwards and think about lifting your chest up. And as you exhale, lean back. I'm just going to move my hands so you can see. This knee can stay bent. Inhale, lean forwards. Exhale, lean back. So you can lean back as far as you don't need to move your hands. Inhale and exhale. So it's just a gentle little open up. Make sure your foot is out onto the edge of the mat. Some of you have got your foot in a little bit close. So if I had a mat, the outside edge would be touching the edge of the mat. Yes, that's better. Hands on the inside. Lovely. Really good. You've got a couple more there. I don't use a mat. It's just pointless for teaching. I'd need like a circle mat. Really good. And then when you're ready, we hold in our lizard. Okay, you might be here. You might have the knee lifted. From either of those positions, you could be thinking about your elbows coming down to the floor. And for a lot of us, that's just thinking about it, thinking, not today, okay? I feel a lot. So really strong pose, because in essence, your leg is going behind you, okay? So we're going to be here for a little while. I'd say at least 2 minutes either side by the time we've done the 2 variations. So yeah, is anyone that not working at all for their leg? Give me a wave. No, as happy as you can be in that lizard lunge. Relax the face, smile, breathe, really good. Now, you might want to stay as you are, there is another way that gets us, as we were doing in that first lying down position, more into the side of the hip. So knee would come down, you'll lift the toes, and I'm swiveling out on my heel. And the side edge of that foot is down on the floor. I can think about pushing that knee out to the side. So it might not look exactly the same as mine. It might be at less of an angle. We all have different hip bones. And then again from there, if you want, the elbows can start coming down. It's just like these little micro adjustments we can make in these poses to feel it in slightly different places, to get all the way around the hip joint. There's so much tissue around it. You have a few more breaths. Really good. Breathing in. Breathing out. Really good. So if you turn the foot out, slowly you're turning that foot back and you're going to step the foot back. Now for some of you, you might want to take a child's pose, sit back on the hips, or you're welcome to take a downward dog and walk out through your feet. So downward dog, it's quite a lot on your arms. It's not really a resting pose. If you're new to yoga, I'd say child pose might feel better because it's just meant as a little pause. Really good. So from here, you're going to bring your right foot forward. So we then end up with the other foot down on the floor, the knee, sorry, down on the floor. You might do the same as you did on the other side. I'm just going to swivel so you can see, or you might not. So you could lift the leg. Inhale, lean forwards, lift the chest. Exhale, lean back. So you're just moving slowly. Hands stay where they are. Really good. 2. 3. Really good. 4. And then finding our way into the lizard that we're going to hold. Maybe you stay just as you are, just as you started. Maybe you want to lift the leg. And if the leg is lifted, this thigh is active, okay? It's not like a floppy knee. It's really straight leg. And then wherever you are, you can think about the elbows coming down and the chest coming down. Don't Google yoga poses. It's not always inspiring. You just see the end point usually and think, oh, how on earth am I going to get there? Really good. Just a lot of practice. And that's all yoga is. Just a practice, being curious about our body. Repeating these poses to open the body slowly, mindfully. Are you still following your breath? Is it becoming easier to stay with that lovely, slow, relaxed breath? Now, if you did it on the other side, you are going to see, if it's possible, on this side as well. So lifting up the toes, swiveling out on the heels, side edge of the foot comes down, so that knee's going out to the side, so that target area is more around the side of the hip, kind of glute med, like T-band area. Great, yes. And if it doesn't feel right, obviously abort the mission. Go back to where you were before. Lovely. Breathing in. Breathing out. So we hold the poses a little longer, maybe a little longer than we would want to initially. You're just showing your body that you have patience, showing the body a little compassion. Really good. 3 deep breaths. You can count them if you want. And when you've finished that third breath, again, square the foot back, stepping back, your choice. You can take a child's pose. You can take a downward facing dog, whichever feels good, just to rest, find neutral for a moment. Lovely. So from there, we're going to come down onto the tummy for a back bend. If anyone has a bolster, you can use a bolster underneath the lower ribs. It can feel really good. I think I had a few people trying it with cushions as well. And this will help people that are probably more used to back bends. So you could end up, yeah, that kind of works. I think my cushions are a bit too squishy, but they really push the chest up more, so you'll feel more through the front of the hips. Optional propping. Has anyone got any disc issues in the lower back? I did read through your health questionnaire. Oh, you have, yeah. So you might, if your back likes back bends, then it will like this, okay? If your back is something that just doesn't like forward bend, doesn't like back bends, you might want to start head down on the hands, okay? And then work your way up. You can squeeze the glutes to protect the lower back as well. So we start elbows underneath the shoulders, Sphinx pose. And if it just feels like, oh, this feels a lot on my back, then start off head on the hands. Because we're going to be here about 3 minutes. This is a lovely pose for the digestion. It's also a really good post-gardening pose if you've got gardener's back. So breathe down into your belly. Wherever you are, just let the belly expand down into the floor. So you're getting that lovely pressure, that compression around all the intestines, really just to get the blood moving. That is our goal. Move the fluid around the body, refresh everything. Oh, I think you've got your hands on the floor. You just have your elbows forwards a bit more. We're not in a cobra. Elbows forward, yeah, that's it, lovely. So you might stay here. You might then begin to take your shoulder over to the side, and if you've been lying down, head on the floor, you might come up a little bit. Okay, and if you come up a little bit, I'd have your elbows forward, so your arms right forwards, and then you can just bring your elbows in a little bit for support. And if it doesn't feel right, you can end up again, head down on the hands. Really good. So if this feels good, your back likes back bends, or you just generally you've got a happy back, you can turn the hands out to the side. You can't quite see my hands there. And you can push the arms straight. Don't do this if you have disc issues in the back. For obvious reasons, it's a really deep extension of the spine. There will be now effort in your arms, okay? That's when a bolster can actually make this really lovely, because then it's not so much effort in the hands. So either your elbows are down or arms are straight. It's up to you. Really good. So we're going to take a minute here. Close your eyes, breathe. Really good. And you will feel a bit of compression in the back, okay? That is okay. You might feel some compression somewhere down along the spine. But if it doesn't feel good, if you feel any discomfort or anything that doesn't feel right, then elbows down, head down, okay? Only you know how it feels in your body. Really good. You're halfway through, 30 seconds. Slow, relaxed breaths. Breathe down into the belly. Really nice. Elbows come down and then arms go forward. So you end up head resting on your hands, just taking a pause there, so you're just lying flat, face down on the floor. You might gently rock your hips side to side, and very slowly you can move back to a child's pose with the knees together. So you're rounding the back over the legs. Really nice. So the back's rounded over the legs, arms wherever is comfortable. Flexing the spine. And if the forehead doesn't meet the floor, then you might make a little cushion pillow with the arms so that it does. And you'll just feel that point where the forehead touches something. As you rest the forehead, you rest the mind, the brain. This is a really lovely pose to calm the body, stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, get you into that confident, resting state. Really good. So in your own time, you are going to come up onto the knees and sit over to the side. And I want to take a nice long hold in a twist to end the practice with. So I'm going to show you 2 different twists. The second one is not good if you've got any issues with your SI joint, okay? And if you think, I'm not sure, you would know if you did, okay? So you're lying on your back. This is twisted roots. So I could take hips over to left, knees, so lift those feet off the floor. Just take 2 legs over, okay? You might need, if your glutes or your back is tight, some cushions to rest the knees on, okay? The second one is the same start. Hips to the left. Left leg comes over, so you make like a little knot with your legs. Some people can get double knot. And then again, you take the knees over to the side. You could begin with cushions, all right? It doesn't matter if the other shoulder lifts up a little bit, but we're going to be there for at least 3 minutes either side. So you want to begin, remember, comfortably. So you lie down, arms out to the side, hips just shift over to the left. So then when you come into that twist, over to the right side, you'll get the hip bone down on the floor. Lovely. So left leg could come over. Feet lift up off the floor, and then those knees go over to the right side. Lovely. And if you get over there and you think, oh, it just feels a little bit too much, then please put cushions. So let your knees rest over to the side. Let the knees and the feet rest down on the floor. And if you come into that, if anyone's not happy, then just sit up and give me a wave. We'll give you another pose. I'll help you into that one again. Great. So now you've settled, you can think about the shoulder blades just melting down into the floor. Can you hear me all right, Joe? Oh no, yeah, you can. We're doing a twist, double leg twist, or you can cross one leg, okay, cool, that's fine. You can think about those shoulder blades sinking down into the floor, and at some point, both of them will be there, and you can bend the elbows and you'll have your arms in like a cactus arms position. Ideally, back of the hands down on the floor as well. This will make more of a stretch through the chest. Again, it shouldn't hurt or pinch in the shoulder. That's really important. Really, this should be quite a nice, easy pose. It doesn't mean there won't be some strong sensations. Can you allow your body to be still, completely still? "90 seconds." Can you allow all your attention to stay with your breath, those slow, relaxed breaths? So we think about coming out of the twist. Now you've been there for a while, so you might want to use your hands, use the cord to help push the legs up into neutral, and just give your back, your hips, the shoulders an opportunity to settle. If twists, I see there's somebody not really holding the twist. If it feels better, you're welcome to do a different pose instead. You could take happy baby pose, or another pose, hug the knees into you instead. So you'll come into the other side of the body. So your arms out to the side. You'll shift the hips a little over to your right now. So just shift the bum across. You'll bring the knees up, and either you're taking just those two knees over to the left, or crossing that outside leg, right leg over, and rolling over to your left side. Remember, use cushions if you need to. One side can often be quite different to the other, so prop as you need to feel comfortable. And make any adjustments you need to. Really good. If you're not sure how to adjust it, then give me a wave. Scanning through the body, have you let go of your body? This is a real leaning into the floor pose. And sometimes there's some part of our body that's actually holding us away from the floor. Maybe it's the hips, maybe it's the shoulders. Maybe there's just a little tension remaining in the jaw or the face. The body is heavy, and the body is just leaning gently down and through your mat. Those slow, relaxed breaths, melting away any tension that might remain. If both of your shoulders are down on the floor, you're welcome to bend the arms, take that cactus arms position. Slow, relaxed breaths. If at any point your mind begins to wander off, become noisy, you just gently encourage it back here. Your final minute. As we come to the end of the pose, our final pose, slowly help your body back out. So you're lying down on your back, Shavasana, final resting pose. You might have a cushion under the head if it feels more comfortable. And depending on the back, you might have the legs straight, legs slightly apart, or if it feels better, keep your knees bent. Let the knees rest in on each other, or even pop some cushions underneath the thighs, the knees, or a bolster. That'll feel really good. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Sighing it out, we'll take 2 more. Deep breath in. Last one. And then be still. Enjoy this opportunity to do nothing. Allow your body this time of complete rest, really pure relaxation. Allow your body to breathe itself. Allow yourself to drift off, drift away. Remember the intention that you set at the beginning of the class. Where was all this energy going? With each breath, you sink a little deeper down into the earth. You feel supported. You feel comfortable. You're going to deepen your breath. Deepen your breath and allow the inhalations to wake you up. Just begin to move your head gently side to side. Take your time. Stretch your arms over the head. Reach your toes away. Bend the knees. Give your knees a big hug. Rolling over to the side, eyes are closed. And then finding your way up to seated, just as we started. We're not going to be here very long, sitting tall. As you inhale, sweep your arms up over the head. And as you exhale, palms touch, thumbs to the crown of your head, your forehead, and then down to the floor. You can open your eyes and namaste. So I hope you enjoyed it. I've just sent you all my emails. So if you have questions, then you are welcome to email me and ask them. I mean, obviously, it's easier. You can just email Greg and he can forward it to me. You can ask me now. Yeah, so how it worked for you as far as long, yeah, and maybe requests if you have other areas of the body you want to focus on. All right.
Thank you.
Very much. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Later.
Really good. Yeah, really good.
Lovely. Yeah, I'll just turn it off in a second. See you later, guys.